CESC Fabregas is the latest name on Manchester United's shortlist to become the new manager. There's a lot of noise, whether you want to take it serious or not. It's up for you guys to decide, really. But we're going to go down with what's been said recently. At the moment, it's been Glasner, it's been Xavi. Not too much about Iriola other than being appreciated. But I'm going to be honest with you lot. I don't think there's no I don't think you could disregard this one. But smash the likes. You know what likes do. Likes help the video out so much. So anyone that does want to do that and take some time out to do that in 2 seconds, bless you. And also subscribe if you're brand new. Now, this came out yesterday and I don't know how to feel about it. But I think the idea might be better than the reality. Now, what was said was Manchester United are considering CESC Fabregas as a replacement for Ruben Amorim, and they added him on the shortlist. Fabregas is admired for his modern style of play and has earned respect for developing younger players. Now, he's at Como. We know that Inter Milan wanted him. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about him because I'm not going to sit here and act like I watched the Serie A and I've been watching CESC Fabregas' Como. Whether they're doing well, I'm pretty sure they are, because otherwise, why would his name be highlighted? And I do know they've had some sort of takeover and they're getting better. But when it comes down to these modern style hippie managers, I'm not too sure if you really want to really call him a hippie. And I know Fabregas was a great player in his day, but I think, do you not think it's a little bit too soon? You know, I'd rather maybe take a punt on someone like Michael Carrick over Fabregas. And I know he would absolutely address the midfield, give a lot of youth the chance. I just can't get my mind behind how this one would be a successful pairing in terms of Fabregas and Manchester United. You know, there's this whole Arsenal thing, Chelsea thing. Like, it's not even about the rivalry, or maybe it is a little touch. But because I know what he's like, and I've heard him in interviews. Again, this is why I say the reality is pretty much better than the idea. Sorry, is much better than the reality. Let me know what you feel in the comments. Is there anyone that actually watches Como? Then go for it. Be my guest, right? But we do know that he likes to play in a 4-3-3, quite traditional, very Spanish-like, 6-8-10. They rotate. This is what's coming up. They adopt a 4-1-4-1 and a 4-4-2, you know, when it's out of possession. It's pretty standard in modern football. But we're talking about Man United that want to get over the line. We're talking about the likes of, you know, getting back to the top. What is it about Fabregas that everyone feels that, or maybe Manchester United feel that can make them go to that? And again, I've been saying it through every video for different kind of managers, whether it's Glasner, Xavi, or Iriola, is the high risk factor, the risk factor. How much can we rely on all of this? Let alone how much can we rely on the news, right? I know he's definitely got a fluid project going on. I have seen the way he plays. It looks nice. But in Italy, when you've got a bit more slower pace controlled football, the Premier League's a different monster, right? And I think Thiago Motta is the correct person or manager to kind of get behind this. We saw at Bologna, Thiago Motta comes along, he absolutely revamps them. They look really good. Xerxes was playing under them as well, and Doyle as well, the one that plays for Forest at the moment, was there. There's a few different sort of players, you know, and I was hearing from every tactical under the sun about how this guy is the next best thing. He goes to Juventus, gets a bunch of new players, revamps a lot, if not the whole of the midfield and parts of the attack, gets players on loan, and do you know what I mean? And it's just, in column one, he's to bail them out in the end. Even though he got, like, they end up getting rid of him, it's just like, it didn't work at a top club like Juventus, even though they're in Italy. I just think that the jump from Italy over to England right now is a bit too much, especially when you've got a lot of tactical play going on. You know, when someone like Fabregas needs a good midfield, and yeah, look, I'm all for the Xavis and the CESC Fabregases when they want to, you know, really focus on the midfield. But we just don't have that right now. We need someone that's able to adapt. And every time I'm hearing with these couple managers, I don't really hear about adaptation. It's like, it's still kind of like my way or the highway type. And it feels like they're a manager that you have to bring in the summer and get them the players that they require. Now, I could be totally wrong. I do want to be optimistic, and I do want to be going into the international break with 3 points and Ineos making the correct decision, which I feel is to get rid of the likes of Ruben Amorim, because he's just not suited, unfortunately, as much as I've liked the guy. But that's just long-winded at this moment of time. But when you're looking at the new managers, you still got to, I feel you still got to look within the Premier League no matter what. This is day 3 of doing these kind of videos, and whatever news pops up. There's not a lot going on in the United front. You know, no news is good news, right? But look, I feel like all it is admiration. I think you can take this with a pinch of salt. And I do believe there is a lot of truth to this. I do believe that, again, there's going to be a good 5, 6, 7 managers on that list that they're going to like. And they're going to keep going down the pecking order from top to bottom to see which one they're going to get. I think Fabregas is going to be a great coach. But I just don't feel like the job up to Manchester United is that jump. I think it's a little bit too soon. Maybe even the likes of Michael Carrick, a little bit too soon. But at least he's been in the English game and he knows what it takes. Not saying that Fabregas doesn't know what it takes, but what he's got going on is something good, and it's good for Italy. I'm all about what's good for England right now and people that have done it here. You know, we talk about big clubs. If you like Xavi, you're probably going to like the style of Fabregas. But if you're going to talk about big clubs and the big jumps, out of all of these managers that we mentioned, the only one that really has the real credentials to manage the likes of Man United, if we're going to keep it a buck, is actually Xavi, because he's won it with Barcelona, took over, then when they were in 9th place, gave a bunch of, I think, 11 youth players a chance, and then obviously developed from there. But my thing will always be, that's nice and all, but that works in La Liga. You can study the Premier League as much as you want and try and change your way, but I just don't really want to go with that flow. You know, Xavi, legendary player, one of the best to ever do it. Same with Fabregas. I just don't see how this one works out. And I'd like Ineos to potentially steer clear of this. So, look, let me know what you feel about CESC Fabregas. I feel like he's 2, 3, 4 years away from having a real jump. A little bit like Company as well. You know, he'd done it not so great. He did jump from Burnley to Bayern. Could have a similar effect. But again, how adaptable is he? Can he adapt is another question. He knows the English game. Of course, he was in it for quite a while, to be fair. And of course, he likes to play a certain style, which I think we can all appreciate. Can you get the most out of these players? Can you get goals? Can you command the respect? Can you handle the pressure? And I think that's the biggest thing about Man United fans right now, including myself, is the pressure. Which manager can handle it? I don't feel like he can. I think it's too much too soon. But maybe we'll see in a couple of years. I'm just optimistic. But Ineos, as I would say at any point, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Anyways, smash the like, subscribe. Hopefully we get some decent news.